Welcome to the source. The source. Source. Hey, get the source.
Hey, happy Tuesday to everyone. Hope you all had a lovely Monday. I went 2-0, so I'll take it. It was only 7 games on the board. Only posted 2 bets last night. They both hit. I did place a third bet, but then I cashed out of it. In the Discord, we cashed out of it because right after the live stream, Chris Sale was pushed back as the starting pitcher. Total moved. We had an under 8, got pushed back, moved up to 9, so we just cashed out. So yeah, it was a nice little Monday night. Overall, baseball's been really kind to me recently. Hopefully that continues. Tonight's slate is terrible, though. I hate my bets tonight. So if you're looking for a day not to tail me, this might be today. I really don't like my bets tonight, and I have 6 of them too. I'm hoping they all get fucking rained out. I don't like them. I don't like them. But let's talk WNBA. Minnesota on the road in LA. We just got one game. Chris, talk to us.
Yeah, so we got the links. The big thing in this game, it will be Nafisha Collier, who is in, I think she might be like, I was looking at it last night, updated MVP list. I think she's second, right behind Asia Wilson on the MVP list. So this is a major impact player, both offensively and defensively. She blocks shots. She's the team's best rebounder. So she won't be available tonight. And on the Spark side, they still be shorthanded as well. They do get Azarae Stevens back, but no Cameron Brink. Of course, Lexi Brown is out with Crohn's disease as well. And situational spot, it doesn't really trend towards either team. I think looking at the links, they are, I think, just 1-4 against the number in their last 5 games. So they are starting to, you remember, they started off super hot. So, they have been a big reason for that is their offense has really, really struggled recently. They are the worst offensive rated team over the last 5 games. And I want to say close to the last 10 games as well. But the Sparks, they continue to just be Jekyll and Hyde. Like, they're going to play well one half, Cal. I don't know if it's going to be the first half or the second half. Based on the numbers say that they play good early, and then they kind of tail off at the end. So when I was going through it, last 5 game stats say that they're the worst second half team in the WNBA, -7 net rating in the second half. So my play for the game will be the Sparks team total to stay under. I just think looking at Minnesota, they can win with their defense. They play real good defense under Shell Reese. And the opposite of what I'm talking about with their offense, worst offensive rated team, but they are the number 1 rated defensive team over the last 5 games. They needed a bounce back spot in the last one versus the Mystics. They were able to come out there, hold the Mystics under 70 points. So you can get a team total under 75, and I think it's 76.5, some 77.5s out there as well. Because the total did go up. Not sure why, but I definitely disagree with the movement there. The Lynx shot just 38% from the field, even against the Washington Mystics in that last game. So both times these teams have played so far this season, the Lynx have held the Sparks under this team total as well. And I think, like I said, without Fee being there, they'll have to rely a little bit more on their defense like they did in their last game. So I'll take the Sparks team total under here. Just don't think they can put it together. All you need is a 15, 16-point quarter in there, and that's what they're averaging in the fourth quarter. So I couldn't talk anybody off waiting to play it live, just in case the Sparks do come out early, with something. But pre-game bet, I would just be looking at the Sparks team total to stay under. I think the number is a 77.5 out there right now.
All right, so Sparks team total under 75.5. Minnesota, if you're wondering why this line is so short, like he explained, Minnesota missing their best player, one of the people that's in the MVP talk. So short line in this one. Sparks team total under 75.5. It's the only game on, so clear the pick out so everyone can see Chris's Twitter there. Chris Be Cappin with 2 N's is his Twitter name. He also does daily YouTube content. Right now it's just WNBA, but puts out a lot of good NBA stuff. And also, he's going to be doing some football with us, I think, this fall. We got to touch base at the end of this month. And both you guys, I want to Modi's in the chat. You guys can't see him, but because during the MLB All-Star break, I'm ironing out our schedule. So if you guys want to get in on any preseason videos where we do win totals, or I'm going to give you production schedule for the fall also, and you guys could let me know what days you think we'll iron all that. That's MLB All-Star break next week. So
okay, no, that'll work. That'll work out. Sounds good. Appreciate you having me on as always. Best of luck to the community. Best of luck to the chat, and hope you guys cash. I'm out.
Talk to you soon.
All right.
Let's talk some seam. Someone said in the chat, let's get down to the nitty gritty. He'll be here any second. No, I don't see him either. But normally, he's usually watching it and waiting for the WNBA segment to end and then hopping in. Let me call him. He also just got back from vacation, though.
I saw that he was in Seattle. Yeah.
You emailed Toast the link, right, AJ? So everyone could hear him answer the phone.
He's gonna answer like, "The fuck you want, bitch."
Okay, so I guess we're starting with me and Modai. He was in the Discord talking about his bets an hour ago, so I know he's here.
Probably in the bathroom.
Yeah, and I mean he'll probably hop in any second. So let's go ahead, get the poll up. You already got the Cubs Orioles poll up, AJ? Okay. First up, Chicago on the road in Baltimore. I do have a bet placed in this one. So I'll wait till AJ gets the poll up here.
Shout out to Helms, who mentioned me in the chat, and then also the guy who's the general, who is jokingly now trying to make it seem like he's also trying to catfish me. with his comments.
Yeah, that was strange. And someone was saying that person does that in like all the different handicapping chats, which is just strange. So Toast is here. Nice of you to show up to work, Toast. Yeah, it was just one game though, so it took like 2 minutes. No, I'm joking.
I can't hear him.
You can't hear Modai, leave and come back real quick.
Leave and come back. All right.
Yeah. Why won't this zoom in, man? Come on. All right, my cameras just will not zoom in. I don't like that.
I hadn't done write-ups in like 3 days, so felt like I had to write every game up today just because I felt bad. So
can you see Toast now?
Yeah, I can.
All right, cool.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Unfortunately, yes.
Figured.
You said it.
Why is my camera frozen? All right. So first game up is Cubs Orioles. And what I did here is I took an under. I got in at 9. I think I paid minus 120 for it. But I like it. This is one of the bets I don't hate, I guess. I hate tonight's slate, hate a lot of my bets. I don't really hate this one.
Shout out Rob Beaver.
I think Dean Kramer is regarded as an unreliable starting pitcher, and he's regarded as like a bottom tier starting pitcher, but he's really not that bad. He's got really nice numbers against righty bats. What do the Cubs have? 5 righties in the lineup. But really what I like for Dean Kramer here is he's been absolutely dominant against bad lineups. Where you see Dean Kramer get lit up is when he's pitching in Yankee Stadium, when he's pitching against the Astros. He's thrown 15 innings pitch against top 10 lineups this year, and he's got a 7.80 ERA and a 187 whip. So when Kramer pitches against bad pitches, he gets lit up. But when he pitches against bottom 10 lineups, 23 and a third innings pitched, 0.77 ERA and an 0.64 whip. So he's been, I mean, we're talking about a small sample size, but I'm only looking at this year's numbers. But Dean Kramer has had no problem shutting down bad lineups. And let's face it, the Cubs, whether or not you want to say they're a bottom 10 lineup or not, if they're not a bottom 10 lineup, they're damn close to that. I mean, Cubs lineup would probably be somewhere in the 18 to 20 range. So Dean Kramer at home against the Cubs lineup, I think he should be fine here. We just saw him absolutely shut Seattle down, another bad lineup. He pitched 6 shutout innings in Cincinnati. I mean, he's pitched some gems in here, so I'm not worried about Dean Kramer at all. And I know a lot of people are saying, yeah, Kyle, we're not opposed to you fading the Cubs bats, but what about the Orioles bats for the under? And I hear you, but you know what? Jameson Taillon is the man recently. Like, he's made me a believer. In his last 3 starts, he's got a 2.70 ERA. And I was talking about this before the Phillies game, because you remember, I took the Cubs money line as my top bet that night against the Phillies, and Taillon was excellent. And what I said was, Jameson Taillon, number one, has great numbers against lefty bats, which I like here. But number two, has been so good against good lineups. This dude just shows up for the big games. Against top 10 lineups versus right-handed pitching this year, Jameson Taillon, 56 and 2/3 innings pitched. So he's pitched against a bunch of top 10 lineups, 2.54 ERA and a 104 whip. It's actually weirdly against bad lineups is when you could fade Taillon. He's been great in these spots. So not to mention Baltimore against righty starters hasn't been automatic recently. They haven't been bad, but they haven't been elite. So I think Taillon can pitch well here. We're getting this all the way up at 9. Both bullpens should be rested. I like it. I'm on the under.
It's ended up being a pass. I was trying to get to the Cubs, either first 5 or full game. What Kyle said about Jameson Taillon, I mean, over his last 5 starts, at home against Philadelphia, on the road at Milwaukee, at home against the Mets, at home against St. Louis, on the road at Tampa Bay. I mean, this dude is facing like some very, very good lineups, and he's continued to pitch well. The only time that he didn't pitch well was on the road at Milwaukee, and he gave up 4 runs in 6 innings. Only 3 of them were earned. He only walked 1 guy. I mean, I don't even consider that terrible considering how good Milwaukee's been at home. And yeah, I don't mind your under either. Dean Kramer's been absolutely awesome. I mean, it's really hard not to appreciate what this guy's been doing. I mean, I understand Arizona and St. Louis got to him, but essentially every other start besides Milwaukee this year, he's been essentially giving you 5-6 innings, giving up 1 or 2 runs. So I don't hate the under here. I was trying hard to get to the Cubs, but that offense is so terrible, and that bullpen just really seems to let you down. So I didn't want to have a lead going in late into this game and then the bullpen blow it. So it's Cubs or pass for me.
And I disagree with that, by the way, the Cubs pick. But I wanted to some of the comments were talking about my pick, saying Taillon's due for regression. Taillon could get hit up. He's got bad hit streak against Baltimore. I was just giving some angles of why Taillon could pitch well. My score prediction for this game would probably be 6-1 Baltimore. So it's not that, I mean, I don't know if Taillon's able to pitch a great game here in Camden. But keep in mind, the Orioles could score 6 or 7 runs and still stays under this total at 9.
So you're telling me Baltimore coming home from a West Coast road trip is gonna just tee off on Taillon?
Dude, I'm on the under. I was just explaining.
You just said they were gonna win 6-1. So I'm just trying to understand how you
I do think
well
the,
and then get
the
to
Orioles
6 runs.
Yeah, no. Hold on. I was throwing a score prediction out there. It wasn't.
Okay. I didn't know. I was just curious.
I was just explaining that the angle to the under isn't only Taillon blanks the Orioles. That's not the only angle to me winning my bet here. There are other paths. That's what I was saying. Modi?
So you think Taillon complete game shutout? Is that what you're saying?
At least.
I'm fading Taillon. I admittedly don't have the numbers of his stats against like top 10 versus bottom 10 lineups. I just look at his numbers versus his expected numbers and think that he's due for major regression. 2.99 ERA looks great. FIP is 3.79, xFIP 4.24, Sierra 4.22. And like, if you just look at the gap between his ERA and his FIP, it's the 14th largest gap of all pitchers that have thrown at least 80 innings. That's like saying he's the 14th luckiest pitcher in the MLB. His xFIP is the 28th worst in the MLB, which is not me saying that he's terrible and that he's the worst pitcher in the MLB. I just don't think he's nearly as good as what his stats look at if you just look at his ERA. And the Orioles, I mean, they've crushed right-handed pitching. They have the 3rd best offense according to WRC Plus against righties. Over the last 2 weeks, they're basically the 2nd best offense across the board. You look at like WRC Plus, WOBA, WRAA, OPS, all that stuff. 2nd best offense in the MLB against right-handed pitching. So anyways, I have Taillon over 2.5 earned runs. I think I forgot to actually say that part. That's my play here. It's juiced to high hell at -150, which I don't love, but it's back in the Orioles batch, which always feels good, and it's fading a pitcher that I think is due for major regression.
Our graphic says -115. Is that because it was -115 and it has since moved?
No, I sent it over incorrectly. I just checked my notes. Wow. I just sent it over wrong, so that's my fault.
Unbelievable. Just trying to steal value on the show.
I just want the graphic to make me look better. Yeah, so people that don't actually listen.
Makes for a better screenshot.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the next one. Which is, what's next? Cleveland, Detroit. I'm being told this game might get rained out, but we'll talk about it. This is pretty much anything in the Midwest. It must be nasty out there because people in the Discord will talk about it. So in case you haven't heard, the Cardinals Royals already postponed. I'm hearing the Reds game, very high chance of getting postponed. And this is another one you could throw in the list of that has a good chance of getting rained out. That being said, I do have a bet on it. And I don't even need to pull up notes for this one because it's pretty simple. I took the under. I took unders galore. I hate tonight.
I'm on the under. I played under 8.5.
Me too.
Plus 100. So, yeah.
Like I said, this game might not even be played, so you might just get your money back on this one if you're tailing. I don't even think I need to make a case here. Cleveland has now failed to get to 7 straight righty starters.
Thank
7
you.
in a row. And it's not like I'm saying, oh, Cleveland's been struggling to get to righty starters here and there. No, 7 in a row they failed to get to, including, what was that guy's name? Kiter Montero last night? Blank.
Kiter looked great.
Yeah. And that's 7 in a row. And it's not like they've been seeing like a ton of, I mean, they did see some decent righty starters in there, but Cleveland's struggling to get to righty starters. That trend of backing the Guardians against righty starters that we were riding for a lot of the first half of this season is dead. 7 in a row.
Really quickly, Kyle, really quickly, just the names: Montero, Birdsong, Fetty, Flexen, Lugo, Marsh, Waka. Not great.
No, I mean, there's Fetty's having a great season. There's a couple decent names in there, but as a whole, Cleveland's not getting righty starters. I know Kenta Maeda is terrible, but there are some splits here. First of all,
he's about to deal.
I don't know about deal, bro.
I do. I bet you I would bet under 2.5 earned runs and all that stuff. I bet you he comes out in deals tonight.
Okay. So for some arguments for Kenta Maeda, he does have much better numbers at home. Actually, in his last 4 starts, he's got a 2.29 ERA and a 107 WHIP. So he's got elite numbers at home in his last 4 starts. But if you look at the game logs, that's a bit misleading because you got to go all the way back to like early to mid-May to find these home starts that are giving him these numbers. So it's a little bit misleading there. But also, Kenta Maeda, much better splits against lefty bats. That's all Cleveland has. They're going to have 8 lefties in the lineup. Kenta Maeda, significantly better numbers against lefty bats. I'm not saying Kenta Maeda is going to deal like he's saying. I'm just saying I think he's going to give you a formidable start here. And if Kenta Maeda is able to give you 5-6 innings, 3 earned runs, I don't see how this number gets over the total. I mean, Detroit, how many runs are you going to get out of the Tigers here? Ben Lively's been great.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, under up for me.
Yeah, I really can't add much. I do think Kenta Maeda is going to deal here today. Just looking at little things like price pick boards and stuff like that, everybody's hammering those overs on the 2.5 earned runs. That's what gives me so much confidence in Kenta Maeda today. And honestly, if you take a look at his last 7 starts, he got lit up on the road at Boston. It's okay. It is what it is. He got lit up on the road in Houston. It is what it is. And then he lit up on the road in Minnesota. I mean, again, it is what it is. But all 3 of those teams very good at home, or not. Boston's not good at home, but offensively pretty damn good. And then the teams that he's pitched well against: Anaheim, Washington, Toronto. The White Sox wasn't great, but I said this yesterday. Part of the reason why I took Detroit money line is that I don't think what we've seen, and Kyle touched on this as well, Cleveland versus right-handed pitching hasn't been great. And I honestly feel like those 5s that we saw against San Francisco were kind of gifted. So I understand that it looks like 0, 5, 5, 2, 8 on there. But when I say that, when I don't can take into consideration that those runs against San Francisco really came from the bats, it was aided by errors and bullshit. I don't think Cleveland's scoring runs here. So I just have a hard time believing that this game gets over 8, considering the weather as well. So not to mention everybody in the bullpens are back and ready to go.
Modi?
Yeah, this game's probably going to get rained out, but I actually do have a dong in this one. I have Jose Ramirez. He's been cold. He hasn't hit one in 8 games. I just think plus 500 on him is crazy. Admittedly, he hasn't hit righties as well as like recently, like you said, across the numbers, they just haven't been as good. Like before, he had been kind of equal in terms of power. It's been a little bit down against righties, but I still like for him to hit a home run. Like his last couple games have been decent. Yesterday, 2 hard hits on 2 batted balls, hard hit rate 100%, average exit velocity 100 miles per hour. 2 games ago, 3 hard hits on 4 batted balls, so 75% hard hit rate, average EV of 97. For context, just to give kind of context behind that, sweet spot for home run is 95 miles per hour and above, and anything 95 and above is considered a hard hit by MLB.com standards. And he's still having a really good year, like 10th best ISO rate, 23 home runs, 4th most. And the reason why for him, he's just been putting the ball in the air. Fly ball rate 48.5%, launch angle of 18.4. That's like the 11th best and the 19th best. And I think that he should match up well against Kenta Maeda. Maeda is allowing a barrel rate 9.7%, launch angle 16.3, and his home run per 9 1.86. That would be the worst in the MLB. So it's a play on the plus 500 odds, fading a pitcher that hasn't pitched well, and like him slumping, having not hit one in 8 games, is being priced in at the plus 500. So I think that couple reasons to believe that he's due after the past couple games, and for plus 500, I think that's worth a hit. I also think Naylor is a good spot as well, kind of for almost the same logic. He's also been ice cold. So between the two, like Naylor's at plus 550. So between the two, I think both are good value.
I don't hate the Ramirez one, but I actually disagree with the Naylor one because he's got terrible numbers against the splitter, which is one of my. The only reason I know this is because I happen to have talked about it on last night's video. He's got a 188 expected WOBA against the splitter, so I don't like Naylor. I actually said Naylor is a candidate for an sneaky under bet.
It's funny because I was going to play Jose Ramirez under total bases because he's like 1 for 20 against Maeda in his career. Like, and the one home was a home run, but yeah.
All right, let's go on to the next game. Dodgers, Phillies. I hate my bet.
Under.
It's Dodgers money line at plus 122. I knew that there was a chance Kyle Schwarber was going to be back. I didn't think there was a chance Bryce Harper was going to be back, but they're both in the lineup. So I could give you some reasons that I think the Dodgers will get to Zach Wheeler. But I'm openly admitting that I would not be on this bet if I knew that both Bryce Harper and Kyle Schwarber were going to be in the lineup. I thought it was a chance of Schwarber, no chance for Harper. That's what I thought when I bet this, placed this bet last night. They're both in the lineup. So I don't like the bet, but if you're looking for a reasons that the Dodgers get to Zach Wheeler, I think there's several here. First of all, Zach Wheeler vulnerable against lefty bats. He's got a 316 WOBA against lefties, 130 whip, much worse than his numbers against righties. You know, the Dodgers have two of the most dangerous lefties in baseball, Freddie Freeman, Shohei Ohtani in the lineup. So I like that for the Dodgers. Also, Zach Wheeler has done a lot of his damage against bad lineups this year. He's thrown 40 innings pitched against bottom 10 lineups. 40 innings pitched against bottom 10 lineups, just 18 in the third against top 10 lineups. And in those 18 in the third innings pitched versus top 10 lineups, he's got a 5.89 ERA and a 142 whip. So Zach Wheeler's actually struggled when he's seen good lineups. We know the Dodgers are most definitely a top 10 lineup. So I expect the Dodgers to get to Zach Wheeler. Now that those two guys for the Phillies are going to be back in the lineup, I no longer am confident in Bobby Miller, though. And to be honest, if I was to be betting this now, it would probably be over a pass. But just keep the Dodgers graphic up because I do have a Dodgers bet, but I don't like it. So,
Moda, do you have anything? I only have a lean, so unless you have.
Yeah, I have Ohtani to hit a home run. It's all my. I was looking at the schedule. All my home runs are like in the first 4 games. I only have 3 that I'm. I guess 4 if you include the Naylor one. But it's what you said about the.
Let's hit the song.
And it makes you feel down. And it makes you feel down. And it makes you feel down. Down. Down.
Take away. All right. So anyway, you like Ohtani?
Yeah, it's the righty versus lefty splits. I feel like it's sounds crazy to say, but Ohtani at plus 230 actually is a value when you consider wherever other book prices it, and when you consider what he normally is priced at. Like he has both, like recently in the past week, he's been under 200, which is crazy. Yeah. So I think we are getting some value because, again, it's Zach Wheeler, who everybody's like, oh, Zach Wheeler's a stud. I don't want to fade him. But it's exactly what you said. He's much worse against lefties. Average goes from 153 to 231, slugging 221 to 406, WOBA 197 to 316, and his home run per 9, 0.49 to 1.12. Fly ball rate 30.7% to 42%, hard hit rate 21% to 32%. Like it's across the board and some pretty important home run specific numbers. He's given up 10 home runs on the year. 7 of them have been to lefties. Ohtani's obviously awesome. He's also way better against right-handed hitting than he is against lefties. Like his ISO rate on the year against righties is 38.1%. That's better than Aaron Judge. That's like the only number that's anybody has better than Aaron Judge on the year. And it's incredibly dong-friendly weather on the East Coast, and especially in this game. It's 90s, it's hot, it's humid, 10-mile-per-hour winds blowing out specifically to right field. The Phillies already have a hitter-friendly park in their outfields because they're short. A ton of reasons to believe in Ohtani. So yeah, I put more, like normally I put a half unit on the home runs. I put more on Ohtani. You kind of have to when you're playing the plus 230, but yeah, I really like him tonight.
Dose?
I don't have a lean anymore. I do have a bet. Dodgers team total over 3.5 minus 145. Yeah.
Bro, you've been like leading the parade of the Dodgers team total under.
Yeah, but now we're getting Dodgers team total over 3.5, and not to mention the weather at Citizens Bank Park, 91 degrees with the weather blowing out. You just illustrated how Zach Wheeler could possibly have some trouble with this lineup. We got a total at 9. Yeah, I'm going to take I just bet the Dodgers team total over 3.5 minus 145.
I mean, I like it. I do think the Dodgers. I was just surprised because you were very gung ho about betting the Dodgers.
I know, but now it's different. It's a different feeling for me when I have everybody wanting to bet the Dodgers and then I get to fade the Dodgers. It's a little bit different when everybody wants to bet the Phillies because everybody's back now and nobody wants to look at the Dodgers.
I don't know if everyone's betting the Phillies. It's pretty split.
I mean, if those guys move the line that much, then I guess so be it. But I think everybody's betting the Phillies when they saw those two guys back.
Maybe. Our poll's pretty split. 46% Dodgers, 40% Phillies. So Dodgers slightly win the poll. Next up, Yanks, Rays. Modi, do you have anything for this one?
Yeah, I'm just taking the Rays money line. I feel like the Yankees shouldn't be favored against anybody at this point. They have like the worst record in baseball in the last 20 games. Rodon is a lot worse on the road than he is at home. I don't love backing Pepe Le Pew. I don't think he's but it's just fading the Yankees. I mean, they've been terrible. They've been legitimately terrible for like 20 games now. And you're getting plus money to fade them. That's where I went.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard to argue with that. And you know what's crazy is in the beginning of the season, Rodon was so good on the road. Like, what the hell happened? I don't know what I think of Rodon right now. I don't know what I think of the Yankees lineup. I mean, part of me thinks it doesn't even make sense that they're this bad. So yeah, it would only be Rays for me as well. I didn't bet it or anything, but it would only be Rays for me here. I just Pepio, just like Modi said, scares the shit out of me. So Rays or pass.
Yeah, and seeing I was on Yankees or pass. I'm not betting the Yankees in any way, shape, or form, but I don't think that Pepe Le Pew is very good, and we're getting a Yankees team that I know that has been extremely bad for a couple weeks now. But after an embarrassing homestand, I don't know. I understand that Pepe Le Pew is. I don't know. I think that the Yankees win this one. It's just a gut feeling, but I'm not betting it, so it doesn't matter. I'm not even going.
Could also just be an over spot.
I don't even know.
Said,
about that. I could go either way.
Someone said Modi looks like the guy who finished college but just comes back on campus to hacky sack with the students.
I just hear someone's witch cackle in the background. Whoever's in the background.
Oh, that's Beaver. That's Beaver.
Love that.
I miss him so much.
Do you hacky you a hacky sack guy?
No, I don't. I don't think my hair's quite long enough to pull off the hacky sack look. Someone did comment and say I look like a backup personal trainer at a gym, which I thought was funny.
Oh man. All right. Rockies, Reds up next. I have a bet on this one, but this is another one where it might not be happening. So I'm on the under. I bet it. I'm pretty sure I got it at 8.5. Shouldn't even require much of a description. The Reds, one of the worst home lineups in baseball. The Rockies, one of the worst road lineups in baseball. And I'm not even talking about bottom 5. We're talking like bottom 3 for both of those. Not to mention Cal Quantrill's been pretty reliable on the road. I know he's had his last 4 starts looking a little shaky. I'm hoping that his season isn't about to fall apart. But still, he's been reliable on the road, and the Reds lineup at home has just been unbettable. I put a full unit on them against Tariq Skubal. That was a disaster. I don't trust this lineup at home at all. I bet this. I had the same bet yesterday. I took the under. I think I got it at 9 yesterday, though. And now we have the same matchup with the same 2 lineups with 2 better starting pitchers. Frankie Montas has been really good. In fact, 6 of Frankie Montas.
Cal Quantrill.
I know.
And Nick Lodolo.
Oh, Lodolo. My bad. The graphic still. I did the same thing last night. So the graphic still says Montas because when I made the video last night, it was Montas. It's Lodolo. But I bet this and I'm sticking with it. I did the same freaking thing yesterday.
Only reason I mentioned it is I knew the comments would go crazy. I knew exactly what you meant, but yeah. It'd be under or pass for me. I don't want to deal with it. I tried with the Rockies yesterday. Yeah, I actually wasn't even mad about that one. Reds scored 6 runs in the 8th inning or something like that. Like it really wasn't even that bad. So it is what it is. It's a pass for me though.
Yeah, it's a pass for me too.
All right. Next game might not even happen. So
yeah.
Nats, Mets. I mean, I don't know how we could have faith in the Mets to get to Jake Irvin. He just made a fool of the Mets on our nation's birthday. Just
do you really want to trust Jake Irvin after his first 8-inning performance of the year?
Do you want to trust Quintana?
No, I'm just saying it's an easy pass. That's all. For me.
It's an over for me.
Yeah,
No way.
we just saw this matchup 5 days ago. Like, it was so recently. It was on the 4th of July.
And there was one run.
This final score was 1-0. It was 0-0 in the 8th, I think. I don't know how I don't know how to even begin going about making a prediction here. I guess if you forced me to bet, it would probably be an under.
Under, yes.
Yeah, but so you can put an under graphic up. I'm not betting this though. I don't like these when like you get the same pitching matchup the next game. I mean, I it's not that bad when like they pitched against them a month ago because maybe trends change, teams are hitting differently, teams are seeing the ball differently. But I mean, we just saw this 5 days ago, so under a pass.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't really – the Mets aren't getting to anybody right now, so I have a hard time believing it, not to mention they're coming home from like a 8-game road trip. I will say that road trip was on the East Coast, so it doesn't really do much for me. But you have Quintana – again, you have Quintana coming off a 7-inning gem. But, I mean, the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times that he's faced Washington going back to 2022, he's been excellent. Excellent. 7 innings, no run, 7 innings, 1 run, 5 innings, 1 run, 6 innings, 1 run. I mean, so I don't think that Washington is going to get to Quintana, even with some of those new guys like James Wood and stuff like that in the lineup. So it'd be under a pass for me. I just don't. I would lean Nationals to win the game just because of. I mean, I feel like they have a better starter on the mound. But after having 8 innings, I don't really want to trust Jake Irving and that Washington bullpen right now.
Yep. Next. What's next? Oakland, Boston. Toast, did you
got a bet?
I know you do. I don't know what it is, but I knew you would like this game.
And it's not what you think it is.
I've been trying. I mean, I was going to say Oakland first 5 team total over.
That's a winner.
Did I nail it?
Yep. Oakland first 5 team total over 1.5 at -140. I will drink that juice like it's no one's business. We got a total that went from 9.5 to 10, and we're getting 1.5 on a first 5 team total with an Oakland team that has absolutely dominated Brian Bello. Although those starts were on the road for Bello, but his last 2 starts, one this year, one last year against Oakland, 9 innings, 10 hits, 10 runs. It's just been really, really bad. Let's just take a look at Ryan Bello's last 3 starts at home. 2 innings, 2 1/3 innings, 5 hits, 7 runs against Toronto, 4 2/3, 6 hits, 5 runs. 4 runs, 5 of them, 4 earned runs, 5 regular runs against the Yankees, 6 1/3, 8 hits, 4 runs against who? The Tigers. So do I think that that Oakland can score 2 runs against Brian Bello here with this total moving the way it is? Absolutely. Oakland first 5 team total over 1.5.
Modi, what do you think?
Yeah, I got my last dong on this one. Jarren Duran plus 400 to hit a home run. Devers is a great play, but he's like plus, like I think like right around plus exactly 200, so it just wasn't worth it. And I love this spot for Duran. I wanted to back a lefty just based on like the pitching matchup in the weather and stuff. Granted, Fenway Park is really funky with how they have their right field like gets shorter as it goes to center, weirdly proportioned park. But another really good game from a weather perspective, hot, humid in Boston, wind blowing out of the stadium. Not quite as hot as it is in Philly, but still positive overall. And Duran's much, much better when he's facing a righty. ISO rate that's 25.5% against right-handed pitching specifically. That's in the excellent category. That's defined by Fangraphs, by the way. 9 of his 10 home runs have come against righties, like across the board, much, much better against right-handed pitching. And he's been good over the past like 5 weeks or so. Since June 1st, he's hit 7 home runs, 24.1% ISO rate in that stretch, 11.2% barrel rate. Going up against Joey Estes allows the worst fly ball rate in the MLB, 51.5%. He hasn't pitched technically enough innings to qualify, but that would be the worst in the MLB if he had. Worst against lefties, 4 of his 7 home runs have come against lefties, despite he's actually seen fewer lefty at-bats than he has righties. So, I mean, like Devers is, again, also a good play, but I went with Jarren Duran just because the odds are so much better at plus 400. And I also think that he's got a really good matchup against him as well.
I disagree with Toast. I think Bayo's going to deal.
He can deal, but he's still going to give up 2 runs in the first 5.
I don't think so, man. I think Oakland's bat's a little bit of a sell high spot. In the last 7 days, they look good in that little home stretch. Now they're back on the road where they're shit. Brian Bayo, I think, has gotten his shit together. 2 of his last 3 starts, one was good, one was okay, one was bad. But the one that was bad, he saw Toronto on back-to-back starts. So that's a little unfair. I think Bayo's gotten his shit together a little bit. He's been much better against bad lineups. Actually, his numbers against bad lineups aren't that bad. He's also got much better numbers against righty bats. Oakland's flooded with righty bats. So I actually think Bayo's going to pitch a good game. And then on the other side, good Lord, this matchup for Joey Estes is a nightmare. And I've been saying I think this Red Sox lineup is trending downwards. I've been saying that. So I'm not that huge on this Red Sox lineup right now. But Joey Estes, I mean, dude, his numbers on the road, first of all, maybe a little bit inflated, but he's got a 7 ERA on the road this year. Terrible numbers on the road. Terrible numbers against lefty bats. Boston's loaded with lefty bats. 6, 7 lefties in the lineup for the Red Sox? This is a matchup from hell for Joey Estes. So as much as I want to fade Boston's bats right now, I think they're trending downwards. Not today. I like Boston -1.5. I didn't actually bet it, but to be honest, I'm thinking about it. Especially if games are going to get rained out and I only end up with like 2 or 3 bets, maybe I add this one. Boston should win this game comfortably, so it would be Boston -1.5 for me.
Yeah, I also like the fact that the weather is just fantastic there, so it really helps.
Twin Sox. Toast is on. First 5 under in this one. Did I nail it?
No, I ended up passing on this game.
Moda, you have anything for this one? Oh, okay.
I passed as well.
Well, I didn't bet it, but I do have some thoughts. I have a couple bets that I was considering. So it looks like a beautiful spot for both starting pitchers. Bailey Ober's actually been pitching really well recently. He's had 3 great starts in a row. Eric Fetty at home. I don't think people realize how good Eric Fetty's been at home because he plays.
He hasn't started at home in 3 weeks.
No, well, I mean, let me rephrase. Let me take the at home out of it. I don't think people realize how good Eric Fetty's been this year. Because he plays for the White Sox, no one gives a shit. This dude, I mean, on the season, he's got a 3.13 ERA, 1.13 WHIP. At home on the season, he's got a 1.64 ERA, 0.91 WHIP. I mean, this dude is having a all-star caliber season, Eric Fetty. I mean, he doesn't get talked about because he plays for the worst team in baseball, but he's really been great. Look, it's the Twins, and they've been killing right-handed pitching. But something I will say here, check this out. Let me just pull it up. So the Twins have been killing righty starters, right? We know that. But what happened when they saw Seattle and they saw 3 solid righty starters in a row? Didn't really get to Castillo, didn't get to Bryce Miller, didn't get to Logan Gilbert. They crushed Hunter Brown, who was really due for a regression spot. Kenta Maeda, Chris Flexen. I mean, they've seen a lot of easy righty starters. I think Fetty could pitch well, but I also am not trying to fade Bailey Ober right now. It was a 1.71 ERA and an 0.76 WHIP in his last 3 starts. Granted, Detroit, Seattle, Oakland. Those are his last 4 starts, but White Sox throw him right in with that. So I like both starting pitchers to pitch well. So I like a first 5 under. You can get it at 4.5, or at least you could last night. Or did you guys see the bullpen situations for these teams?
That's why I was waiting for you to see if you were going to play Chicago. I was like, you're going to, no way you're getting to Chicago right here.
No, dude. No, it would be Minnesota -1.5.
Well, it sounded, I mean,
you
just went on a soliloquy about how good Fetty was. I thought.
Well, that's why. Okay, so the bet I would be down to take is probably Twins -1.5 here. Based on the White Sox bullpen, they're missing their 3 main arms. They're crushed. But the Twins bullpen isn't
3 main arms. They're missing. Leisure won't be able to go either.
I thought he was the 3rd arm. Who's the 4th?
Well, I mean, Anderson's went 2 of the last 3 nights. Leisure went 29. He just came back from AAA. Schuster went 22 yesterday. I mean, I honestly don't know what they use. What are they going to do?
So, like, here's what I think. Here's a great way to bet this. Hear me out. So I didn't bet this first 5 under. It's on the screen, right? We don't bet this first 5 under. We wait. The score is 0-0 in the 4th, and we live bet the over at 4.5 or 5.5.
Because to add on to what we just talked about the Chicago bullpen, flip it over to Minnesota. Duran back-to-back days, Jax back-to-back days, Alcara 3 of the last 4 days, Thebar 2 of the last 3 days, Stallman 2 of the last 3 days. These bullpens are taxed. Everybody's taxed.
These starting pitchers should pitch well. We wait. Low-scoring game in the 4th or 5th inning. We hop on the live over. Who's with me?
I'm with you because I couldn't bet either team because of the bullpens.
I want the text under my face to read live over. Thank you, Prop Beaver. Live over. That's what I like.
Live over.
Live over. First ever live over given out as far as the graphic goes.
It's always good when you have to start a bet with "Hear me out." That's when you know it's going to be good. This game's going to get rained out, unfortunately. So I didn't play anything.
Yeah, true. Next, Miami, Houston. I mean, if you could find me a decent angle for Miami, I'd consider it. I couldn't find shit. I think all signs point to Houston winning this one comfortably. I couldn't really find a single angle for Miami here.
I got to bet in this game.
It better be Houston team total over or Houston minus 1.5 or you're going to lose.
First 5 under 4.5. Let me get my number. I love when you laugh because I'm pretty sure I've never lost a bet when you laugh like that. So do it again.
100.
Do it again.
100%.
Thank you.
100%.
Thank you, Beaver.
I laughed.
Exactly. I know it's a crazy hit rate. I know it's just insane. So laugh again. First of all, I don't think this is a great spot for Houston. They're coming home from an 11-plus game road trip that was from the East Coast. I think this is a huge sleepy spot for Houston facing a Miami team that's dead in the water. I just have a hard time believing Houston gets up for this game. If they score 3 or 4 runs off of Trevor Rogers, so be it. But Trevor Rogers has actually pitched somewhat decently over his last 7 starts. He's not absolutely getting throttled. On the other side, you have Ronel Blanco, who's been pitching fantastic for Houston almost the whole year. So I expect him to hold down Miami as well. So yeah, I really like first 5 under 4.5. So laugh all you want, boys, but I guarantee you it cashes.
Oh, you guarantee me?
Guaranteed.
Guarantees it. The hell? Houston minus 1.5 or pass, man. I don't care about the spot. It's Trevor Rogers and the Marlins.
Heavy on the pass.
They're terrible in the first game of series.
Exactly. They're not going to score.
I was the opposite. I was Miami 1.5 for pass, but more so just fading the Astros, who I feel like are coming back down to earth after they won like 7 straight games, whenever that was. But yeah, you're telling me to fight for a play backing Trevor Rogers? Not really.
Someone said Houston could go 75% and still beat this poverty mark.
Well, hold on, really quickly. When's the last time Trevor Rogers looked bad? I just want to know.
Every time he steps on the field.
Oh, okay, got it. Just let me know. Go ahead. I got his game.
All right, I'm pulling it up. I have it up too. All right, Trevor Rogers. Oh, nice. 354 WOBA against righties. You'll love to see it. Like it's a fucking lineup full of righties in Houston. Oh, when's he look bad? His last start, dude. His last 2 starts.
6 innings, 3 runs against Philadelphia on the road.
No,
That's bad.
He pitched on July 3rd as well.
Is that bad? You said 2. I went to the first one.
Yeah.
Is that bad?
10 base runners. That's a 180 whip. Yes, that's bad.
Okay.
He was also bad in Boston against Boston after that. 3 innings pitched, 8 base runners. That's a freaking 233, 266 whip.
Let's keep on going. 6 2/3, 2 runs against Seattle. 7 innings, 2 runs against Washington. 5 innings, 1 run against Cleveland. I mean, yeah, he's been so fucking bad. On the road at San Diego, 5 innings, 1 run. I mean, Texas got to him, but yeah, he's been so bad.
It's about to get sparked. Next game.
Sparked?
Yeah.
Pittsburgh, Milwaukee. There's a guy named Josh Fleming pitching for the Pirates.
Mm-hmm.
So I have nothing to say.
Former Tampa Bay Ray. Shout out.
Shout out Tampa Bay Rays.
Shout out former Rays. Shout out Tampa.
It's a pass for me. It's Brewers minus 1.5 or pass. The Brewers at home, 27-13 on the year. If you're betting against the Brewers at home, you better have a pretty damn good reason. So I don't know if I'm not going to lay minus 1.5. I'm just not really there. But yeah, it'd be Brewers or pass.
Yeah, someone said, yeah, Toast his whole family just got sick on the vacation. Someone goes, Toast looks like he hasn't been eating. I can't tail him.
This is true. I haven't had food in like 3 days.
It's clouding your judgment on Trevor.
Yeah,
Rogers,
how are you supposed to cash bets if you need sustenance?
Modi.
All right, yesterday.
Josh Fleming over K's.
Yep, exactly. No. I went actually. This was one of my actual plays that I actually bet that I really liked. Brian Reynolds over 1.5 total bases plus 130 odds. I think he's a good spot. You could ladder him to 4. So if he does hit a dong, then you'll cash the ladder. The way I did it, just if people are curious, I put a quarter or 3 quarters on plus one at 2 plus at plus 130, half a unit on 3 plus, and a quarter unit at 4 plus is how I did it. I think he's going to smash Colin Ray is what it comes down to. Reynolds having a good year. Switch hitter is going to be batting lefty tonight because he's going up against Ray as a right-handed pitcher. Reynolds is better against right-handed pitching. Ray struggles against left-handed hitters. Any stat you look at, slugging, like all the way to WRC plus and everything in between, Reynolds has much better stats against righties. And like looking at his batted ball stats specifically, line drive rate increases 3 percentage points, ground ball rate drops 11, fly ball rate increases 7%, and hard hit rate increases by 4%, going from a lefty to a righty. And Ray is already not a good pitcher, and across the board, they're worse against lefties. And his last 5 at-bats, Reynolds and Ray, the last 5 at-bats, single, double, single, double. That's 5 for 5 with 2 extra base hits in his last 5. So, he doesn't quite have the launch angle or fly ball rate for me to be super confident on a home run. That's why I went the bases route, and then just like I said, laddered it up to 4. But yeah, this is one of my more favorite plays on the board.
Yeah. Okay. I got nothing for this one. This is a straight pass. Texas, LA. Rangers, Angels.
Shout out Angels.
They get your team total over?
Always. They never let me down.
They never have once let you down.
Angels have never let anybody down.
I'm not even exaggerating. Like once out of the last 7, they've let me down. I'm not even kidding.
Never once let somebody down.
I said once out of the last 7. I think they've let me down, and I'm dead serious.
You ready for the comments to? You ready for the comments to be upset? I have another under. It's disgusting. I told you I hate the slate. I'm embarrassed to give out another under, but I bet this, and I actually like it. It's probably one of my more favorite bets. I know. I'm embarrassed, guys.
I don't understand why you're so embarrassed, though. You've had a
I
good
took
year.
5 unders. What kind
I
of
get
shit
that,
is
but
that?
I'm just saying, like, it's not like you've had a bad year. Like, I don't understand.
Oh no, it's my best baseball year ever since I started tracking.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't understand.
I just consider myself to be a better man than to take 5 unders.
Hey, if they cash, it's all about people don't care. If you're making money, it doesn't matter if you're overs, unders.
It's not just about winning and losing sometimes. It's about pride, and I have none right now, giving up all these freaking unders. That being said, this is one of my more favorite unders. Okay, so Scherzer's obviously been good. Expected FIP indicates he's gotten a little lucky, but we're talking about 3 starts here, super small sample size. The Angels have terrible numbers against the 4-seam fastball, which he throws a lot of. But really, by the way, the Angels suck against right-handed pitching. They do not get to righty starters at all. And check this out. Angels lineup 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 righties in it, including 5 of their first 6 hitters. Max Scherzer against righties this season, 172 WOBA and an 063 whip. Now, it's super small sample size, but he's been dominant against the righty bats he's seen so far. So Max Scherzer should deal. Angels lineup sucks against righties. I don't think you even need a sales pitch on that side. On the other side, hear me out. I know a lot of people are thinking this Texas Rangers lineup might be back. I think I want to call bullshit on that. They showed up a couple times. But, hold on one second. Let me get up to my notes here. So they crushed Zach Littell, and I had the Rays in that game. I know, I lost. Didn't get to Taj Bradley. Didn't get to Michael King. They got to Mazur, who sucks, and we'll talk about that in a few minutes. Can't wait for that one. They got to Dylan Cease. Didn't touch Albert Suarez. So I haven't seen enough from the Rangers lineup to be like, oh, they can hit righties now. Keep in mind, this was arguably the worst lineup in baseball against righty starters for like a month and a half. So they got to 3 out of the last 7, and now we're like, Rangers are back. I call bullshit. And by the way, Roansy Contreras, really nice numbers against lefty bats this year. Did you see that, Toast? Go on ESPN and just give it a split. You don't have to go to Fangraphs. You can go to Fangraphs either. Also, go look at Roansy Contreras splits against lefty bats this year. He's got really nice numbers against lefties. He struggles
57 at bats, 211 batting average, 538 OPS.
That's what I'm saying.
OPS plus.
He's got nice numbers against lefties. Rangers are loaded with lefties. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lefties in the lineup for the Rangers. I don't think it's crazy to think Roansy Contreras pitches an okay game. not saying he's going to go out there and blank the Rangers. By the way, it wouldn't be crazy because they haven't been touching righty starters all season. I think Roansy Contreras pitches a good game. Look, neither of these bullpens are good, but both are going to have all their arms. Just a fade of both lineups here. I actually like this under. I'm embarrassed about all the unders. I like this one.
Rangers minus 1.5 for me. I think this is going to be a really, really cheap price with this Rangers team if they are starting to turn the corner offensively. Davis Daniel last night wasn't a very good arm, but look at the last few righties they've seen. Littell, Bradley, Baz, King, Mazur, Cease, Corbin Burns, Albert Suarez. I mean, not terrible arms. But at the same time, I understand Kyle's sentiment with the lefty splits and stuff like that with Contreras. But at the same time, the guy's made 2 starts this year. He's only made it past the 3rd inning once. Both of those starts were against Oakland. And if you go back to 2023, his last start again was against Oakland. So the last 3 starts this guy's made in Major League Baseball has been against Oakland. And if you take that away, he's been throttled by everybody else that he's hit against. I think that Matt Scherzer can pitch well today. I felt I got pretty damn lucky yesterday with my Angels team total over. They got it in like the 7th or the 8th inning. And of all people, Anthony Rendon with a single to score a run. So, I mean, if that's not as lucky as hell, I don't know what is. So I just feel like this is going to be way too cheap of a price with this Rangers team that might be starting to find it offensively. And if that's the case, I think they win this game easily. So Rangers minus 1.5 at minus 105.
Yeah, and to clarify, if I was jumping on a side, I would be on the same side as Toast here. I actually wrestled with the idea of taking an Angels team total under instead of the under.
I was thinking like a 5-1 Rangers win. That's what
I swear to God, 6-1. Yeah, I can feel it. Yeah, so I agree. Modi.
Yeah, I'm going against you guys a little bit. I have Max Scherzer under 17.5 outs. It's mostly a play on the number at plus 158. I'm not going to take away. He's been great since, if you look at his stats, since he came back. He pitched 90, or he threw 90 pitches last game, so they are getting his pitch count up. I just think he's getting a little bit lucky. 2.7 ERA, but FIP 3.95, xFIP 4.57, Sierra 4.75. Like, none of those numbers are that great. And I definitely don't love this Angels lineup. I don't necessarily think they're going to score a lot of runs. I just think that they can rack up the pitch count. So he's not going to have a super efficient game. Like, these numbers aren't the most impressive thing you'll ever hear, but 10th best average against righties over the last 14 days, 8th best on base percentage. 4 of their first 5 bats aren't terrible in terms of average, like 260 or better. And the one that's not is Taylor Ward, who has 11.3% walk rate, which is decent. So I'm not saying that he's going to get rocked. I'm not saying anything like that. I just don't necessarily think he's going to get through a full 6 innings. And I think at plus 158, like, I would only put a half unit on this one. Like I said, it's mostly a play on the odds, on the number. So yeah, that's where I went.
I don't hate that either. They have a full rested bullpen behind them that's been pitching really well. So yeah, I don't hate that either.
Next up, Atlanta, Arizona. Toast, you could go for this one because I like your bet. I didn't tail it, but I was considering it. I'd be on the same bet as you. So,
Atlanta money line for me at minus 120, and then I also did sprinkle Atlanta minus 1.5 at plus 143.
For me too.
So it's just, what do we know? We know that Chris Sale has been essentially dominant over the whole course of the whole season. He had a couple blips, one of them against Oakland. I can't remember who the other one was against, if there was even a better one than that. But the Oakland one was essentially the bad one. But I mean, on the road against Pittsburgh, Washington, New York, Chicago, I mean, he's essentially going anywhere from 6 or 7 innings. He's given up 1 run. I understand Arizona has been really, really hot lately. But at the same time, as we saw last night, I don't think that they were able, like I said last night as well, I don't think that they're going to be scoring 7-8 runs a game. I don't think that's going to happen. And we saw Bryce Elder pitch extremely well last night. And the only reason, and Arizona should have won that game, but why didn't they win? Because they don't have a bullpen. They have Paul Sewald, who's a shell of himself, who's blown 3 straight saves. And now let's just take a look at their bullpen after last night. So you don't have to worry about Sewald. Justin Martinez, who's been a godsend for this team, went 29 pitches yesterday and has worked back-to-back days. Ryan Thompson has worked 2 of the last 3 days at over 30 pitches. Kevin Ginkel's worked back 2 of the last 3 days at over 35 pitches. Joe Mantiply's worked 2 of the last 3 days as well. So that's your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, top 5 arms in the Arizona bullpen. Not in a good position right now. I understand that Zach Gallen at home is usually a bet-on guy, but he doesn't have a great history against Atlanta. And I know that Atlanta doesn't hit righties very well, but I just don't trust Zach Gallen at all. I've been saying this. Look at his last 3 starts at home. Oakland, Miami, Detroit. He looks like crap in 2 of those 3. It doesn't really matter who, but he looked good against Oakland. I think he looked like crap against Miami and Detroit. If you give up 3 runs against those guys, I don't care. It's not a good start. You should be pitching better than that. And oh, by the way, they lost 3-0 against Miami, and I think they lost against Detroit as well. Yeah, they lost against Detroit as well. So Zach Gallen at home hasn't really been that bet-on guy that everybody thinks he is. So I just feel like this is way, way too cheap of a price with the Braves.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't agree more. The reason I haven't bet it yet, and I depending on what happens with the rainouts, I wouldn't be surprised if I end up with a couple of dollars on this and a couple of dollars on Boston -1.5. Those are the 2 I can see myself ended up betting. It depends on how many of these games get rained out in the Midwest. But it's not that I think that the Diamondbacks. It's not that I think the Braves are going to smack Gallen, though. I think Gallen could be fine. It's just what Toast said about the Diamondbacks bullpen. I mean, they are completely fucking rocked. I mean, that bullpen not only sucks, but they are rocked. And the Braves bullpen has been one of the best in baseball. So the pitching edge in the second half of this game is going to be so strong in favor of Atlanta that part of me thinks no matter what happens in the first 5 innings, even if Arizona's up 3-1, I still think the Braves are super live in the game. And by the way, Chris Sale's been dominant. Arizona's been more reliable against righties. So yeah, Braves at this price makes sense also. I haven't bet it, but there's a chance I might.
Yeah, I initially had Diamondbacks, and then I looked at their bullpen, and then I decided I was out on this game. I don't really like. I know that's Braves. I know that it's Chris Sale. The Braves have kind of like Yankees vibes, where I mean they're not as bad recently as the Yankees have been, but like their lineup feels like they're coming back. But the last 2 people, like they rocked Ranger Suarez, who I love to death, but he has not been nearly as good as last couple starts. And then they rocked Michael Mercado, who's clearly not an MLB pitcher. Like their offense last couple weeks is not great, but yeah, I mean, I couldn't get there with the Diamondbacks, so it was just a pass for me.
Next up. Now let's tune into another episode of Toast Giving Out Losers, brought to you by Pepsi.
Why is your audio all messed up?
Is it bad?
Yeah, it's like weird. Do you hear that, Modai?
No, he sounds normal to me.
Okay, maybe it's just on my end then. Okay, never mind.
We can see what the audio
No, I sound
says.
normal.
Okay,
I just checked out my audio on the YouTube stream. It sounds fine. So do I still sound weird to you?
Yeah, but I can deal with it. It's fine. It's just, yeah.
All right. So I don't know what the hell Toast is thinking here.
Do your thing. I'll do mine.
My thing is very freaking simple here. Mazer is terrible, and he's especially terrible against lefty bats. Let's have a talk about it. Let's break it down.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. All right, ready for this? Adam Mazer. So his at home this season, he's got a 10.66 ERA and a 2.05 WHIP. It's absolutely terrible. But specifically against lefty bats. By the way, his numbers against righties are okay, which is like it's crazy splits here. Super small sample size, which is Toast was about to say. It's only 6 games. But the lefty bats he's seen, 467 WOBA and a 275 WHIP. That is freaking insane. He's gotten crushed by lefties. And okay, so here's what Toast is about to tell you. Those splits don't mean anything. We're talking about a small sample size. But the thing is, we've seen it play out in his last 2 starts. He just pitched against Texas. Lineup full of lefties, got smacked. Before that, he pitched against Washington. A bad lineup full of lefties, got smacked. Gave up 4 earned runs in each, and 4 innings pitched and 5 innings pitched. Yeah, the Mariners lineup sucks, but so do the Nats lineup, but they have a bunch of lefties. So the Mariners should get to Mazer, no question. Logan Gilbert on the road, that's reliable. It would only be Mariners here. I didn't bet it. I don't like the price. But there's no way I would touch the Padres. And Toast was like, I really like the Padres.
Why would you not bet why would you not like the price? You just illustrated how easy of a game this should be for the Mariners. It's -136. I don't understand.
It's the idea of laying -138 on the road with Seattle when they've been much better at home scares me.
Weird.
Well, you're on the wrong side regardless.
I'm not. Padres money line at plus 120. Padres team total over 3.5 at minus 105. You know, there's a pastime that, you know, Kyle is kind of new to Major League betting that he doesn't really know about, and that's fading guys making their first All-Star game, and that's what we're going to do tonight. Logan Gilbert just got the call last night. He's talking to his parents. Oh, Mom and Dad, are you going to make it come out? Cool. I'll get your tickets. He's got everything to worry about besides this Padres game. And yeah, I love Logan Gilbert on the road. His last 2 starts on the road, fantastic against Miami and Oakland, 2 teams that punish right-handed pitching. I know that those guys are real scary guys out there. So if you can make it 8 innings and no runs against Miami, you can do it against anybody in this league. I get that. So he's got fantastic numbers against the Padres as well. I just really think that this Adam Mazur kid can actually pitch well here tonight. I just watched the Mariners literally up close and personal for 3 straight days. This team can't hit shit to save their life. So I understand the lefties in that lineup. Crawford, okay, I'll give you that. Polanco can't hit shit to save his life. Cal Raleigh, strikeout machine.
Hold on. You got to compare it to the
I'm not
lefties.
done yet. This is my turn. Luke Raley, I'll give you the fact that he's been a little bit hot right now, but at the same time, I don't really worry about him. Dominic Canzone, yeah, I'm so worried about Canzone. And Josh Rojas, who had a nice cup of tea for like a month and a half and then hasn't hit shit since then. So yeah, I will take it. And the Padres, I understand they looked crap against Arizona, but they also had bullpen issues that everybody in the Padres bullpen has had multiple days off here today. Padres didn't have to do anything. They sat at home and licked their wounds after they got dismantled by Arizona. Seattle looked like crap at home. They looked like crap against Baltimore, Minnesota. I mean, I'm just not at a point where I'm laying juice with Seattle on the road or at home regardless. I think this is a great spot for the Padres. And I know I'm a homer, but at the same time, I haven't been betting the Padres like that.
I know that too.
So you can't really say that like this is a homer bet. This is not. Because if not, because you remember, I'm a Seattle fan too. So you can't really play both sides of the fence.
No, you're playing one side, specifically one side of the fence here.
The
it's the wrong side.
Let everybody go ahead and flood Seattle.
Tell me you got Mazur over 2.5 earned runs or something.
Do it. I hope you.
No, I wish I could break the tie. I passed on this one. You can check my message to you. I didn't have anything before. And yeah,
there's no tie. Kyle didn't bet it. There's no tie. There's only one on the scoreboard.
Fair. That I won't make it a tie. I will leave it as.
I want to bet it now, but it's out of principle.
Okay, then do it.
This is crazy.
I mean, you just went on a 2-minute rant about how the Padres would lose, and then you didn't bet Seattle.
It was very fucking compelling too.
I know.
You fade
all
guys
that
with
to pass.
If they fade guys when they make their first All-Star team. What even is that? That's made up, bro.
Back Logan Gilbert.
Show me the data that shows that. It sounds like you're just spewing some bullshit. Fade guys when they make their first All-Star team. Where does what? That's not a real thing. Pat Beaver, is that a real thing? Yeah, he's never heard of it, he said.
Pop Beaver's retired. What's he going to hear?
All right, what's the current price?
Shouldn't matter. 130, 140, don't matter. If the Mariners are going to win, it's not going to matter. What's 5 cents?
Everyone's thinking the Padres, too. 54%. The Padres are public
that bothers
dog.
me a little bit. That bothers me a little bit.
This is crazy.
Maybe I just made a really good argument.
No, that wasn't it, because your argument fucking sucked. It was like Logan Gilbert called his parents. That was part of your handicap. Logan Gilbert called his parents.
You're goddamn right it was. You are goddamn right it was. As soon as I saw that phone call last night, I knew I was betting the Padres.
I mean, how's the guy supposed to pitch well after talking to his parents?
You could have seen him, Dad. I know you're going to go to Iowa next week, but can you make it to Texas? Please? Don't worry, I'll get you tickets.
I got to add that to our spreadsheets, like calls to parents. Like, wow, he called his parents 6 times this week. Definite fade. I'm betting it. So
there we go. That's what I like to see.
I'm fading this insanity. This is a playoff team versus a non-playoff team. Plain and simple.
Both will make the playoffs.
No.
Yes.
The Padres have a steamrolling grimace in their rearview mirror.
Steamrolling grimace.
Yeah, they're rolling right now.
Bet.
What happens when they trade Pete Alonso? Because that will happen.
Sweet. They'll be littered with disappointment the way I am.
I said littered.
All right, I bet the Mariners. I was peer pressured into it, but I mean, I got peer pressured into a winning bet. So it's crazy. Padres suck.
Mhm.
All right. Modai belongs in Planet Fitness. Someone just said.
Yeah, he's mad at me because I didn't bet this game.
All right, Toronto Giants. Toast, tell me you wanted to get to the Blue Jays here.
Yes and
We
no.
bet the same thing. We bet this. We're both bet the over.
Yeah, no, but to
Same.
answer your question, yeah, I did want to get there, but at the same time, it's the Giants at home, which I understand that they've looked like crap on the road the last week and a half or so since July 2nd, but at the same time at home they're 25-19. I truly feel like San Francisco's a different team at home. Now, with Blake Snell on the mound, that changes things a little bit, but yes, I wanted to get you Toronto, but I like our bet better.
Yeah, so probably the pick graphics, he has to reload real quick. He's doing it right now. So me and Toast are both on the over. I actually got a 7. I paid -130 for it. You too?
I got the over 7. I got it at -125.
Yeah,
I
paid
feel like
-130
I
myself.
feel like it's a little bit suspiciously low.
But you've been saying that for a week
I know.
about totals. That's what made me honestly. I think I even wrote that in my write-up
What
that
are
you
you
had
doing?
mentioned it.
You have to reload the folder. Now it'll work. The other ones are not going to work now. You have to reload the folder. No, you didn't reload those. See? I was just trying to. All right. So yeah, we're both on the over here. What holds me up is I think that trend of the Giants getting the lefty starters is dead. I was saying that the other day when I took Cleveland with Logan Gilbert on the mound, and everyone's like, "How are you taking Cleveland?" It's because I don't think the Giants are a live line. Are a live lineup against lefties anymore. But Kikuchi's having the worst season of his career, right? I mean, does everyone agree with that?
Yes.
His last 4 road starts, I think it's 4. I think it's 4 in a row now that have been bad. Let me pull that up because I don't want to misspeak. Usei Kikuchi.
It's 3. He looked decent against Baltimore, but he only went 4 innings. He looked decent against Washington. So yeah, it's the last 3.
He also struggles against righty bats. He's about to pitch against 9 of them. His last 3 road starts, 8.10 ERA, 240 WHIP. Really don't like the spot for Kikuchi. So even though I'm not on board with the blindly taking the Giants against lefties anymore, there was a time where I was doing that, where I was in with you guys. So it's not like I've been against this or anything. I just think that's dead, but I'll make an exception because Kikuchi making a road start against a bunch of righties is terrifying. And on the other side, I mean, I don't know how else to phrase this. I feel sorry saying it because Toast he's a fathead of this guy, but Blake Snell's not a good pitcher. So you have to be careful the way you phrase that because he actually gets triggered by it, but he sucks. So
Cy Young. That's all I know. Twice.
Oh yeah, cool.
2.
And also Toronto. Have you noticed Toronto's been getting some lefty starters here and there? The last 3 lefty starters to pitch against, ready? Carlos Rodon crushed him, 8 earned runs in 5 innings. Nestor Cortez crushed him, 8 base runners, 3 earned runs in less than 5 innings of work. They also got the Framber Valdez, 11 base runners and 3 earned runs. 3 lefty starters in a row the Blue Jays have gotten to now. And Snell pitching against a bunch of righties. He's got worse numbers against righty bats, even though his sample size this year is crazy small. Yeah, over 7.5. Let's do it.
Yeah, I really can't add much. Is the total a little bit suspiciously low? Yeah, but at the same time, like Kyle's been on this trend for like a week and a half about how these totals don't really make sense. And I'm not going to overthink this one. I think that the Giants can get to Kikuchi. I think that and I think that the Blue Jays can get a couple off of Blake Snell. So I played first 5 over 3.5, and I played over 7. I split it both ways. But yeah, I just felt like that was way too low of a number.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely could see the first 5 over as well. And to be honest, that's a good bet. I see no reason to only limit it, though, even though the bullpens are rested. Neither of these bullpens have been particularly good. The Giants' bullpen has been such a disappointment this year. That's got to be one of the more disappointing. That's got to be the most disappointing bullpen in baseball. They were arguably the best bullpen in baseball last year. They brought back the same exact unit, and they suck. Like, what the hell? I don't even understand how that makes sense. Modai, I'm guessing we took everything you were going to say, though.
Yeah, the bullpen was the only thing I was going to add. Both these bullpens are terrible, especially the Giants. So yeah, no notes.
All right. You want to hit him with a community parlay song?
Time to unmute the stream.
Community parlay, the parlay we bet, yeah. Community parlay is for the community. We coming out, making a parlay. Yeah.
All right. Let's get the vote in. Community parlays lost a couple in a row. It looked like the community parlay was heating back up. I think we hit 2 in like 3 days. Nope. Cooling off again. Come on, community. Don't lose your stride here. I'm trying to rally them. Yo, probably goes, are you kidding me, community? Oh, shit. Orioles money line in the first one. Guardians money line in the second one. I'm going to get... No, Dodgers won that poll. It was 46%, 40%. So put Dodgers in there because they voted for Dodgers. I don't even like... I'm on the Dodgers too. Don't like it, but that's what the community voted for. Yankees, Rays. I don't even... Bro, no one likes the... Put Yankees. They probably voted for Yankees, but I bet you that poll was close, though.
Yeah, I bet you. I think it was.
Cast your votes. Cast your votes. Matthew, do you want to tell the people where they can find their stuff if they found you compelling?
Yeah, if you found me compelling, you can find my stuff on Twitter at my handle here, CJediModai. Link to YouTube videos that I have, link to articles that I write for Newsweek. Anything that you want, you can find on Twitter. So just hit me up there.
Why do you sound so sad?
Do I sound sad? Sorry, maybe I just didn't feel like I was super compelling today. So I'm lacking the confidence of this wasn't very compelling.
My compelling level was like a 68 overall today.
Yeah. Planet Fitness comments just got to me.
Oh shit. All right. So Rockies, Reds, they like the Reds there. Nats, Mets. Probably the Mets. Probably Grimace, right? Yeah. Red Sox money line and Twins money line. Some of those are really good.
Those are good. Yeah.
Like I like when the commish is on and they're like what does this guy even do? And it's like, well, he's a baseball coach. Yeah. Like,
what are those leather-bound books for? What is that?
Well, it's like he's a baseball coach. Like it's like a perfect job to bring on. Some of the jokes though they definitely land.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even know that he was a baseball coach.
Yeah, dude. He runs like an association, like a big association. Like, yeah.
That's why he only can come on when we do the morning shows because he's on the field at this time. He's on the field. He can never come on at this time.
Sounds important.
It is.
Sounds super important.
Compared to us losers.
Prop Beaver's on the IL for unit management. He didn't even laugh. He was like this.
That's funny.
He didn't even laugh at it. All right. So Orioles money line, Red Sox money line, Astros money line. Brewers money line, Rangers money line, and Braves money line.
So the two now are Orioles and Red Sox. Okay.
Yeah, Baltimore. Yep, Baltimore Bastin.
When's the All-Star break start? Next Monday?
Yeah, a week from today.
So Monday's the last day.
A week from tomorrow. I'm sorry. A week from yesterday. Holy shit. Monday. It's in 6 days.
So the last day of games is Sunday.
Yes.
Okay.
Saturday and Sunday, like Friday, Saturday, Sunday is when you start watching like who's going to be playing, who's not going to be playing.
Yeah. I know because Wheeler.
I'm not going to be watching that.
I think Wheeler's scheduled to 5 days from now will be Sunday. So yeah.
Toast probably loves the All-Star break, the All-Star game. He probably watches it really intently. He talks about it. Yeah, you do, bro.
I'll never not watch it.
I'll bet you'll be in the Discord being like, "Oh, I can't believe they brought out this guy second." Like, how?
No, because none of that stuff is like it's all
political.
Bullshit.
Mariners money line. Oh no, they like the Padres because they're freaks. Blue Jays, Giants. I didn't even see who won that poll. Me and Toast were leaning towards the Blue Jays. I probably could scroll up and find it. Here we go. Giants. Wow, handedly.
Look at the Discord what Shipley just posted
I'll check it out in a second.
in the chat.
Good, put Guardians money line in because they were second place. Yeah. Okay. Cast your votes. Cast
Looks
your
like we're
votes.
working out Morgan Freeman.
He photoshopped me in a Planet Fitness trainer.
Did he really? I keep the
It
Discord,
does look like Morgan Freeman.
I keep the Discord closed when I'm on here because mine makes a little boop noise when a
Oh,
Discord
yeah.
message comes in, and that thing throughout the day, boop, 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 like
You can just
I can't even use Discord on my PC because I can't figure out how to shut it off.
you can mute it.
and that shit's nonstop. You like wake up at 6 a.m. because you can't sleep. You open the Discord, it's like a full conversation going on. What do they like here? Looks like Cleveland. All right, so Guardians money line, Baltimore, Boston, Houston, Cleveland,
Woof. Plus 490.
plus 490. Ooh, the community getting really blockish for this one. Plus 490 for the community. Do we have an underdog pick'em, sir? All right, let's see what Prop Beaver cooked up in the lab for us. I'm sure it's something really compelling. All right, Prop Beaver, Kenta Maeda lower than 5.5. That's sharp. I like it.
Oh,
Rafael Devers over higher than 2.5 hits, runs, on RBIs. I'm with that. Eric Fetty lower than 2.5 earned runs. With that. Logan Gilbert higher fantasy points. Let's go. Prop Beaver, good pick.
that's an L.
So today's free leg is Collier for the WNBA. If you don't
She's
have an
out
underdog,
tonight, so that's tough.
so stay. All right, so I guess there's no free leg tonight. If you don't have, I don't know. If you don't have an Underdog Fantasy accounts available in any state highlighted in this map, so if you're in one of the states highlighted in yellow, head over to Underdog Fantasy, the website, or download the app. When you make your account, make sure the promo code BET, B-E-T. That'll get you a $100 deposit bonus match. So you deposit $100, they will give you a free $100 to play with. Thanks, everyone, for watching. As always, let's have ourselves a nice Tuesday night here. I hate my bets. I hate the slate. But I do know one thing: the Padres will lose. That's something I feel very comfortable about. So I added. I'm going to be posting. I already have 6 bets posted on the site. I am going to post a light bet on the Mariners. Out of principle, it's me more making a statement and standing firm on my stance than it is actually playing an angle.